birth control, family size. No meaningful difference.
How about evangelical Christians?
I didn't bring this chart, and this was based on numbers in the 80s, but we took about 10 family demographic characteristics: premarital sex, family size, age of marriage, percent married, cohabitation, and so on. And in one corner, you get blacks with higher non-marital birth rates, lower marriage rates, not higher cohabitation. Then in another corner, you kind of get the liberal Protestant. And you know who's most similar to Mormons? Evangelical Christians in terms of family lifestyle. So all this debate about theology might be interesting, but I think there's a lot of common ground in terms of how important we think family are. Maybe we could build that ground rather than fight over other things. Okay, here's an interesting, on family size, here's an interesting difference I thought you might like to see. Nationally, more education, smaller families. For LDS, more education, larger families. Okay. And we mentioned that before when we talked about the education of the mothers, right? But more educated Mormons are more likely to attend church, to feel commitment, and that's manifest through family size. On most other aspects of family life that are asked about in these surveys, do you think the relationship's fair? How much conflict is there? How much time do you spend together? There's amazingly little difference between Mormons and other groups, and I give you one chart to demonstrate. In terms of measures of marital satisfaction, most of these measures don't show a large difference. It looks to me like in terms of many aspects of family life, we share a common culture. Not in terms of marriage, premarital sex, family size, but in how you relate to your spouse. Seems like we do. One person said, yeah, but if you can do that with more kids, that's really good. Yeah.
It seems strange to me you're on a 7-point scale there, and yet most of those responses are fairly positive.
Yeah.
Half of these are getting divorced.
Well, the divorce ones aren't here. There's a new book out that says if people who aren't very happy, the ones who get divorced don't get any happier, and the ones who stay married get happier. So, yeah, and people probably do exaggerate the image of how happy their marriage is. The numbers are pretty high. But sometimes we divorce for, not always obviously, but sometimes we divorce for reasons that we could solve if we really wanted to. Attitudes toward gender roles? Yeah.
The one on the previous page you had, percentage of happiness with parents as spouse, or spouse as a parent, LDS number was lower than the national.
Yeah.
Comment?
I'm not sure why. Okay, it might be the hassles of raising a larger family and the challenges that provides. I don't know.
Was there any way to kind of normalize the quality of the family relationship? For example, an alcoholic family might have a 5 happiness rating because dad's not drinking this week versus an LDS family that has an expectation of living certain family home evening and other kinds of expectations. Is there any way to normalize across those kind of qualitative factors?
No, there isn't, and And that could be part of what's going on, is that LDS people, to have a happy marriage, has to be going really well. Whereas other people look around and they think, well, as long as we're not really fighting and hitting each other, I guess that's okay. I don't know. But that's one thing about happiness. It's, if you think you're happy, you're happy. Right? And in that, there's not a big difference. Okay, questions on how you feel about gender roles. And you'll see some differences here. That LDS respondents are more likely to think there are problems if the mother works when there are young kids at home. But in terms of kind of equal rights issues, like should women have the same job opportunities, men should share in housework, girls entitled to the same independence as boys, sex exists mainly for a man's pleasure. There's not a very big difference on a lot of those items. So my sense is, in terms of fair pay, job opportunity, treating your sons and daughters the same, there's not a huge difference, but there is a real sense that kids are better off if the mom's at home in these attitudinal data. Now the last phase of the life cycle, interaction with older parents. Here again, by and large, we don't see very much difference. LDS people are likely to visit, call, interact with, give help to their older parents, as is the case nationally. Not huge differences. There is one important difference, though. LDS older people are having more grandkids. So that difference in family size multiplied over another generation is a substantial difference. Okay? So LDS more likely to end up as grandparents. And I hope I'll get there soon. Yeah.